I'm Sarah.
And I'm John.
If you want to improve your English, this podcast is perfect for you. So let's get started and make learning English easy. What are the words today, John?
The first word today is give someone the cold shoulder. Then we will continue with go back to the drawing board. He who laughs last laughs longest. It takes two to tango. Let the chips fall where they may. Make ends meet. Not my cup of tea. Off the cuff. Put your foot in your mouth. Rain on someone's parade. Rome wasn't built in a day. And the ball is in your court.
Before we move on, I'd like to say today's word list consists of the words our followers wanted us to teach.
Great. We're looking forward to the words from our followers.
Okay, let's start with the first word. The first word is give someone the cold shoulder.
Give someone the cold shoulder.
Give someone the cold shoulder means to deliberately ignore or be unfriendly to someone, especially when you're upset or annoyed with them.
Exactly. It's like when you avoid someone or act distant on purpose. You're not yelling or arguing, you're just cold and distant. Like you're shutting them out emotionally.
Yes, and people usually do it when they feel hurt or offended. It's a way of showing disapproval without saying anything directly.
That's true. It can happen in friendships, relationships, or even at work. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just someone going silent or avoiding eye contact.
Right. For example, if someone is angry at their friend and starts ignoring them, we can say they're giving them the cold shoulder.
Exactly. Let's say two coworkers had a disagreement. The next day, one of them walks past the other without even saying hello. You could say, "Wow, she's really giving him the cold shoulder."
Or if your sibling is mad at you and suddenly won't talk to you or even look at you, you might ask, "Why are you giving me the cold shoulder?" It's that cold, silent treatment.
And sometimes people don't even realize they're doing it. It's just how they react when they're upset.
True. Let's make it clearer with a simple conversation.
I said one wrong thing and now Emily won't even look at me.
Sounds like she's giving you the cold shoulder.
Yeah, she didn't respond to my texts either, totally ignoring me.
Well, maybe she just needs some space, but yes, she's definitely giving you the cold shoulder.
I guess I'll wait a bit before I try to talk to her again.
Good idea. Hopefully she cools off soon.
See? Julie used giving you the cold shoulder to describe Emily ignoring Jake. She's upset, so she's showing it by not speaking to him.
It's a quiet form of protest. No shouting, no confrontation. Just cold silence.
Yazav, Akasa, and it can feel even worse sometimes because you're left wondering what went wrong.
Here's another example. After the meeting, my manager gave me the cold shoulder. I think he didn't like my presentation.
Orne, ever since our argument, he's been giving me the cold shoulder. It's like I don't even exist.
So remember, when someone ignores you on purpose, especially when they're upset, you can say they're giving you the cold shoulder.
It's a common expression and easy to use when talking about emotional distance or the silent treatment.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yes. Let's move on to the next phrase. Go back to the drawing board.
Go back to the drawing board means to start over with a fresh plan after something hasn't worked out. Basically, your idea failed, so it's time to come up with a new one.
Yes, imagine you tried something and it didn't work. Instead of giving up, you go back to where you started, the drawing board, and rethink your approach.
Exactly. The phrase comes from design and engineering, where if a plan didn't work, the designer would literally go back to the drawing board to sketch a new idea.
For example, if your business plan was rejected by investors, you could say, well, it's back to the drawing board. It means you'll need a new strategy.
Or if your science project didn't get good results, your teacher might say, I think you should go back to the drawing board and try something different.
Right. It's a positive way to say, let's try again. It's not the end. It's a restart.
Let's make it even clearer with a conversation.
Our new app idea didn't impress the client at all.
Yeah, they didn't seem excited. What now?
Well, looks like we need to go back to the drawing board.
Agreed. Maybe we focus more on the user interface this time.
Good point. Let's take what we've learned and build something better.
Exactly. Just because it didn't work this time doesn't mean we give up.
See, Alex said, go back to the drawing board when the app idea didn't work. It means they'll start fresh with new ideas.
Yes. It's not a failure. It's just a step in the process. Sometimes you need to go back and rethink things to get a better result.
Here's another example. The recipe didn't turn out the way I wanted. Time to go back to the drawing board.
Or, we didn't win the competition, so now it's back to the drawing board for next year's entry.
It's a great phrase to use when something doesn't work out, but you're ready to try again with a new approach.
That's right. It shows resilience in problem solving.
So remember, when something fails and you need to start over, you can say, it's time to go back to the drawing board.
Ready to keep going?
Absolutely. Next up is, he who laughs last laughs longest.
He who laughs last laughs longest means the person who wins in the end is the one who is really happy, even if others laughed at them at first.
Yes. Sometimes people laugh too early thinking they've won. But things can change. The one who succeeds at the end gets the best laugh.
Exactly. Maybe someone is being made fun of now, but later they do something great. And then they're the one smiling.
Here's an example. If someone fails a test and people laugh, but later they study hard and get the highest grade, you can say, he who laughs last laughs longest.
Or imagine two football teams. One team celebrates too early, but the other team scores at the last minute and wins. The team that wins is the one who laughs last and longest.
Let's hear a simple conversation to show what this means.
When I started my YouTube channel, people laughed at me.
But now you have 1,000,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
He who laughs last, laughs longest. You worked hard and showed them you could do it.
it feels really good to prove them wrong.
You didn't give up. And now look at your success.
See? Mia used he who laughs last, laughs longest because Jake is the one who is really happy in the end.
Yes, it teaches us to stay strong and not worry if people laugh at us early on.
Here's another example. People said her business would fail, but now it's doing great. He who laughs last, laughs longest.
Or, they didn't believe we could finish the project, but we did. He who laughs last, laughs longest.
So remember, even if things are hard now, if you keep going and win in the end, you'll have the biggest smile. He who laughs last, laughs longest.
Such a good phrase to remind us that the ending is what really matters.
Now, let's move on to the next phrase. It takes two to tango.
It takes two to tango means that two people are responsible for something, especially when there's a problem or argument.
Yes, a tango is a dance for two people. You can't do it alone. That's why we say it takes two to tango. It means both people are involved, not just one.
For example, if two friends are fighting, it's not just one person's fault. Both of them played a part. That's when you can say, it takes two to tango.
Right. It can be used for problems at work, in relationships, or even when someone breaks a rule. Usually both people helped cause the situation.
Let's hear a short, simple conversation to make it clearer.
My sister and I had a big fight again.
What happened this time?
She said I was rude, but she started yelling first.
Sounds like it takes two to tango. Maybe both of you need to talk it out.
Yeah, I guess I could have stayed calm too.
Exactly. You both had a part in it.
See? Mia said it takes two to tango because Jake and his sister were both part of the problem. It wasn't just one person's fault.
That's right. Here's another example. The deal didn't happen because both companies had problems. It takes two to tango.
Or they're both blaming each other, but it takes two to tango. They both made mistakes.
So when there's a situation where more than one person is involved, especially in an argument or mistake, you can say, it takes two to tango.
Yes, it's a helpful way to remind people that it's not always one-sided.
All right, let's keep going. The next phrase is, let the chips fall where they may.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Let the chips fall where they may means do what you believe is right, even if the results aren't perfect or don't go your way.
Yes, it's about being brave and honest, making a choice and then not worrying too much about the outcome.
Exactly. Sometimes we have to take action, and we don't know what will happen, but we still do it. We let the results happen, madame. Or in other words, let the chips fall where they may.
This phrase comes from card games or woodcutting. When chips fall, you can't control exactly where they land. So it means just do your best and accept what happens.
Let's hear a short, clear conversation to help explain it.
I think I need to tell the teacher that our group project wasn't fair. I did most of the work.
Are you sure? That might upset the others.
I know, but it's the truth. I'll tell her and let the chips fall where they may.
Good for you. Sometimes you have to speak up even if it's hard.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing. That's what matters.
See? Jake said let the chips fall where they may because he knew telling the truth might cause problems. But he still wanted to do what's right.
Yes, it's a good phrase to use when you're making a bold or honest decision and you're ready to accept the result, whatever it is.
Here's another example. I'll tell the boss how I really feel about the changes and let the chips fall where they may.
Or, I stood up for my friend, even if people didn't like it. I had to let the chips fall where they may.
So remember, when you're doing the right thing and you don't know what will happen, you can say, let the chips fall where they may.
It's a strong and honest expression.
Definitely. Now, let's move on to the next phrase. Make ends meet.
Make ends meet means to have just enough money to live, to pay for things like food, rent, clothes, and other basic needs.
Yes, it's used when someone doesn't have extra money, but they are trying hard to manage their life with what they earn.
It can be really stressful. Some people work long hours or even 2 jobs just to make ends meet.
Right. They're not living in luxury. They're just trying to survive, to pay the bills and keep going.
Let's say someone says, with my small salary, I can't save money, but I make ends meet. That means they don't have extra, but they're managing.
It's a common phrase when talking about money problems or hard times.
Let's show it with a short conversation.
How's your new job going?
It's all right, but the pay isn't great. I'm just trying to make ends meet.
That sounds hard. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, just being really careful with spending. No shopping or eating out for now.
That's smart. Sometimes we all have to do that.
See? Julie said she's trying to make ends meet because she doesn't earn much and has to be very careful with her money.
Exactly. And many people in real life are in the same situation. They work hard just to pay for the basics.
Here's another example. After moving to the city, it was hard to make ends meet because rent was so high.
Or, he lost his job and now he's struggling to make ends meet.
So remember, when someone is doing their best just to cover their needs, not saving, not spending extra, they're making ends meet.
It's a good phrase to understand real-life money situations.
Yes. Now let's move on to our next expression. Not my cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea means something is not to your liking or not something you enjoy.
Exactly. It's used when you don't like something or don't feel interested in it, but in a polite way.
Yes. For example, if someone invites you to a party, but you're not really into parties, you could say, that's not my cup of tea, and it's a nice way of saying, I'm not interested.
It's a very polite way to let someone know you're not into something without being rude.
Right. It's a casual way to express that something doesn't match your tastes or preferences.
Let's look at an example conversation.
Hey, do you want to go to a concert this weekend?
Thanks, but concerts aren't really my thing. It's just not my cup of tea.
I get that. What do you like to do instead?
I prefer quiet weekends with a good book.
That's cool. We all have different hobbies.
See? Julie said, not my cup of tea, because she doesn't enjoy concerts. And she politely turned down the invitation.
Exactly. It's a great way to tell someone you're not interested without hurting their feelings.
Here's another example. I tried that new restaurant, but the food wasn't my cup of tea. It means the food didn't taste good to them.
Or, I know a lot of people love sports, but it's just not my cup of tea.
So remember, when something isn't to your liking, but you don't want to be too harsh about it, just say, it's not my cup of tea.
It's a polite and easy way to express that something isn't for you.
Yes, now let's move on to our next phrase. Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff means when you do or say something without planning or thinking ahead. It's spontaneous.
Exactly. So if you give an answer without any preparation, just like that, you can say you spoke off the cuff.
Right. It's often used when someone answers a question quickly or does something in the moment without thinking too much.
It's like when you're at work and someone asks you a question in a meeting. If you answer quickly without notes or preparation, that's off the cuff.
Yes, it's all about being spontaneous. It might not be perfect, but it's your honest, quick response.
Let's look at an example with a simple conversation.
How was your presentation today?
It went well, but I had to speak off the cuff. I didn't have time to prepare.
Wow, that's impressive. You did great without any notes.
I could never do that. I'd be too nervous.
See? Julie said she spoke off the cuff because she didn't have time to plan her speech. She just went ahead and did it.
Exactly. Sometimes you have to speak or act without much preparation, especially in situations that come up quickly.
Here's another example. During the meeting, I had to speak off the cuff because I wasn't expecting the question. It means they answered without preparation.
Or she gave an off-the-cuff response and it ended up being the perfect answer.
So remember, when you do something on the spot without planning it, you can say you did it off the cuff.
Right. It's perfect for those times when you don't have time to prepare, but you just go for it.
Yes, it shows that you were quick and confident, even if it wasn't planned.
Exactly. Now let's move on to our next phrase. Put your foot in your mouth.
Put your foot in your mouth means saying something you shouldn't have said, usually by mistake. It's when you say something embarrassing or offensive without meaning to.
Exactly. It's like when you say something and then immediately realize, oh no, I shouldn't have said that. You feel embarrassed.
Sometimes we all say things we don't mean, and that's when we've put our foot in our mouth. It's an easy way to explain an awkward situation.
It's like when you say something that hurts someone's feelings, but you didn't mean it that way. That's definitely putting your foot in your mouth.
Let's hear a short conversation to show how this works.
I accidentally told Jane that I didn't like her new dress. It was really awkward.
Oh no, Jake, you really put your foot in your mouth there. You have to be careful with what you say.
I've done that too. It's so embarrassing.
See? Jake put his foot in his mouth because he said something that hurt Jane's feelings, even though he didn't mean to.
Right. It's something that happens to all of us, but it's good to learn from it and be more careful next time.
Here's another example. I was talking about how much I liked the movie, but then I accidentally spoiled the ending. I really put my foot in my mouth.
Or, I put my foot in my mouth when I asked about her baby, but she wasn't pregnant. That's awkward.
So when you say something that's a mistake or makes people uncomfortable, you can say, I put my foot in my mouth. It's a way to explain the situation without making it worse.
It's a good way to admit that you messed up, but it's not the end of the world.
Yes, just be careful with your words, and if you put your foot in your mouth, you can always apologize.
Exactly. Now let's move on to the next phrase. Rain on someone's parade.
Rain on someone's parade means to spoil or ruin someone's happy moment or good mood. It's like when something bad happens and it makes a good situation feel worse.
Exactly. It's like when you're excited about something and then someone says something negative that brings you down.
Yes. So if someone is sharing their good news and you say something that makes them feel bad, you could say you rained on their parade.
It's like when you're excited about a trip and then someone tells you about all the things that could go wrong. That would definitely rain on your parade.
Let's look at a conversation to show how it works.
I just found out I got the job I wanted.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's great news.
But do you know how hard the work is going to be? It might not be as easy as you think. Now you've just rained on my parade.
You earned this job, and it's a big win.
See? Alex rained on Jake's parade by mentioning the hard work ahead, which took away from Jake's excitement about getting the job.
Right. Even though Alex didn't mean to hurt Jake's feelings, it definitely made Jake feel less excited.
Here's another example. I was so happy about my new car, but my friend told me about all the problems it could have. That really rained on my parade.
Or, we were celebrating my birthday, but then someone brought up work problems. That totally rained on my parade.
So remember, when something makes you feel less happy or ruins your excitement, You can say it rained on your parade.
It's a fun way to explain how someone might spoil a good moment, even if they didn't mean to.
Yes, now, let's move on to our next phrase. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day means that great things take time. It's a way of saying that important or big achievements don't happen all at once. They take patience and effort.
Exactly. This phrase helps remind us that you can't expect things to happen quickly, especially when it's something important or big.
Yes, for example, if someone is starting a new business and they're feeling frustrated that it's not working out immediately, you can remind them, Rome wasn't built in a day. They need to keep working at it and be patient.
Right. Good things take time. You have to build them step by step, and sometimes it can take longer than you expect.
Let's look at a conversation example.
I've been working on my fitness for a month, but I still don't see big changes.
Don't get discouraged. Rome wasn't built in a day. Keep going and you'll see the results soon. It takes time, just stay consistent.
Exactly. It's all about the long-term effort.
See, Julie reminded Jake that Rome wasn't built in a day, meaning that getting fit or achieving anything big takes time.
Yeah, sometimes people feel impatient because they want quick results. But this phrase reminds us to be patient and keep working at it.
Here's another example. She wants to learn how to play the guitar, but it's hard for her. I told her, Rome wasn't built in a day. She has to practice and be patient.
Or starting a new job is tough, but don't worry. Rome wasn't built in a day. You'll get the hang of it soon.
So remember, when something feels tough or slow, just remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Keep working at it, and eventually you'll succeed.
It's a great reminder that good things take time and effort.
Yes, now, let's move on to our next phrase. The ball is in your court.
The ball is in your court.
The ball is in your court means it's now your turn to take action or make a decision. It comes from the game of tennis, where after you hit the ball, it's the other person's turn to play.
Exactly. So when someone says the ball is in your court, they're saying you are the one who needs to make the next move or decide what happens next.
Yes, it's like if someone is waiting for you to make a decision or take action. The responsibility is now in your hands.
Yes, it's a way of telling someone it's your turn to take action or make a choice. It's all up to you now.
Here's another example. I've made my offer. Now the ball is in your court. Let me know if you want to accept it.
Or, I've done all I can to help. Now the ball is in your court to decide what to do next.
So when it's time for someone else to make the next decision or take action, you can say, the ball is in your court.
It's a simple way to remind someone that the responsibility is now theirs.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. We hope you've enjoyed learning these new phrases with us.
Yes, we covered some really useful expressions today, from give someone the cold shoulder to the ball is in your court. Remember, practicing these phrases will help you sound more natural in English conversations.
Absolutely. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become in speaking English.
And don't forget, we'll be back with more fun and easy lessons next time. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
You can also check out all our episodes anytime right here.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep practicing, and we'll see you soon.
Until next time, take care and keep learning.
Bye-bye.